Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Kelsey. I'm an international admissions counselor at Purdue, and we're going to use this time to answer all of the questions that you have. I'm joined here today by a couple of our international student ambassadors. We will actually have a third ambassador joining us shortly, but he's running just a little bit late. So to start off, we'll have our ambassadors introduce themselves and tell you about why they chose to attend Purdue.
My name is Manuel Palau. I am from Colombia. This is my second year at Purdue. I'm a sophomore, and I'll be answering your questions. Anything you may have, just feel free to ask us.
Hi guys, my name is Deep. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I'm a sophomore too. Feel free to ask me any questions. And just answering Kelsey's question, why I chose Purdue. Purdue has a great reputation when it comes to all of their programs, pharmacy, engineering, and science in general. So that was the biggest thing that I considered, and that's why I'm here. But again, anything about student life and the programs that we have, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Right. So, one of the questions that we get a lot is just about student life that we have here on campus and things like that. So I also want our ambassadors to kind of tell you a little bit about what they are involved in. It looks like we are joined by our third ambassador, so we'll go ahead and have him introduce himself as well.
Hi, my name's Cameron Adrian. I'm a chemical engineer here at Purdue in my sophomore year.
Can you tell why you chose Purdue too?
I chose Purdue because honestly it was either between here or another school in the UK, and I just prefer the American curriculum as opposed to what they do in the UK. But that's just my personal choice, and after coming to Purdue, I'm glad I chose Purdue.
Yeah, so from that, we'll kind of move into some of the things that our ambassadors are involved in on campus. So, Manuel, we'll just start with you.
Well, like, what should I answer? Like,
Just any organizations
okay,
that
yeah,
you're
sure,
involved
sure.
in, things like that.
Aside from this, from being an international ambassador, I'm also in a part of the executive board of something called SHIP, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, which is something great because you actually get to like build a family with other Hispanic. I am Hispanic. I'm from Colombia, so you get to know other people from from other parts of Latin America, from Spain, from like different places. So it's great because you form a family. It's not only good because it's a great opportunity for networking and for getting internships and co-ops and talking with companies, but it's also great because you get to know people from all careers in engineering. You can get help for your major. It's awesome. So if you can get into something like that, I would strongly recommend you. And feel free to ask me any questions about SHIP or any related club or activity.
So I'm involved with BGR actually this semester. I'm going to be a team leader, so really excited for that. I'm going through the training right now. Another organization that I'm a part of is called Purdue Society of Professional Engineers. I'm the vice president, and we basically do a lot of professional development events and other activities on campus. It's a great way to network again, like he said, and meet other engineers. Again, it's about developing your network and connecting with other students in campus, employers, and just make sure that you use all of the resources that we have on campus. Another thing that I do is I'm a part of Purdue Solutions, which is a technology consulting organization, and we basically work with clients in and around the area, so in Lafayette or just in the state of Indiana, and we help them improve their technologies and business processes. So those are some of the things that I'm involved with on campus.
Okay. Other than being an international ambassador, I am involved in Greek life on campus. As was said before, it's a great a way to network. I actually know a lot of people from chemical engineering that got great jobs through their houses, and I'm actually trying to do the same for me next year for my junior year. Uh, it's a great way to be involved. You can get involved in the exec board, basically running the house, You can be involved in philanthropy, raising money for a charity that your house supports. Uh, yeah, it's a great way to meet people and highly encourage it.
Thank you. So one of the questions we actually just got is, when do academic advisors contact us, and what does an academic advisor do? So after you accept your admission offer to Purdue, usually in May to early June, you'll receive an email from your academic department that will put you in contact with your academic advisor. And then from there, your academic advisor will help you register for classes. They'll help you change your major, add a minor, basically anything that has to do with scheduling your classes and keeping you on track to graduate is what your academic advisor will do. I don't know if any of our ambassadors have anything to add, but your academic advisor is basically who will keep you on track throughout your time at Purdue.
Yeah, so just adding on to that, you meet with them typically once or twice a semester, but you can always like set up an appointment and meet them if you have any questions. If you have specific questions about whether class meets the requirements in your plan of study, they can answer that. And again, some people might come in with like a different major and they want to switch to something else. They're a good point of contact for that also, like she mentioned. But yeah, anything to do with academics and your classes, they might be able to help you.
Yeah, since Purdue is a very, very big school, sometimes as an international student, you feel like you're on your own. And advisors are here like for you not to feel that way. So if you have any questions, academic questions and also like non-academic questions, you can go to them. It's a great resource, and take advantage of it. It's a good way to start to know the school, the classes, the environments.
Yeah. When I first got here, I had no idea how classes worked in an American system, but my academic advisor run me through it, and they're a great help. She really helped me out.
And then kind of going along with that, another question we just got is it possible to double major? And the answer is yes. Purdue offers over 200 majors to choose from, so even though you've already been admitted to a specific major, you are more than welcome to add another major or even add a minor as well. I don't know if any of you have double majors or a minor, but maybe you could walk them through the process of doing that.
Yeah, I'm taking a chemistry minor. For my specific course, it's only an extra 2 classes. I know typically minors require, I think it's 16 credit hours. Yeah, it's just with chemical engineering, getting a chemistry minor is only an extra 2 classes. And I thought, yeah, why not? It's something other than my major on my certificate.
Yeah, so just adding on to that, I have a minor in economics and I'm pursuing a certificate in entrepreneurship and innovation. So the certificate is a little bit, it's not exactly a minor, but again, it's like an additional thing that you're learning. With the minor, I do have to take 5 classes, but around like 3 or 4 of them count for something in my plan of study for my major. So it's not really like extra classes that I have to take, it's just an elective that I'm taking, basically.
Yeah, so in addition to adding a major or anything like that, you can also change your major at Purdue. So what you've been admitted to doesn't necessarily have to be what you end up studying for the next 4 years. Many students come in and change their majors once they're at Purdue. It's one of the highlights probably of studying in the American system is that you do have the flexibility to change what you're studying. And again, you will do that through your academic advisor. Once you're already at Purdue, there will be certain GPA requirements and class requirements that you'll have to fulfill in order to change your major, but your academic advisor will be a great resource for you in order to do that. It looks like our next question is about learning communities. So the question is, do learning communities increase course requirements? Are learning communities worth it? And then kind of going along with that, are students required to live on campus? So just kind of starting with that last one, students are not required to live on campus at Purdue. It is highly recommended that you do so, especially as a freshman, just because it's a great way to meet new people and build a community that will help you succeed while you're at a university, but it is not required. And then learning communities are also a great way to build a community on campus, as well as meet people that are taking the same classes as you. So I'll turn that over to you guys and let you talk about learning communities just a little bit.
I wasn't part of a learning community myself, but a lot of my friends were, and they said they really enjoyed it. It kind of made me wish I did take part in a learning community.
Yeah, same. I wasn't a part of a learning community, but I wish I was. But all my friends had like good things to say about it. So definitely recommend if you have the time and if you can do it.
Yeah. So the consensus here is to do a learning community if you're even thinking about it. And then why would you recommend living on campus? The perks of living on campus are a couple of other questions we're getting right now. So I will also let the ambassadors take that one as well.
I would say, like, I would actually strongly recommend you living on campus. It's a fantastic way to meet new people, to meet people from all over the place, from different majors. I think there are many perks. The special ones is that you can network very well, and sometimes classes are not going well, or you had a tough exam or something, and there's always going to be someone in your dorm that you're close to, and they can actually give you help, and they will be there for you. So I strongly recommend you being in a dorm.
Yeah, I've been living on campus for 2 years now, and I definitely agree with what he said. You have 50 other people on your floor that you can talk to every day. You have the resident assistant, actually, two resident assistants on the floor that can help you with anything that you are struggling with or need help with. So I strongly recommend living on campus at least for your freshman year. Going forward, I know a lot of my friends who are sophomores are living on campus too. So it's just up to you, but definitely for your freshman year, consider staying on campus.
Yeah, freshman year is definitely the time to live on campus. A lot of the times, people will just leave their door open. Uh, it's a it's a great way to meet friends and just walk in their room, let off a bit of steam, maybe play Xbox with them, just talk to them. But it's a great community to be in.
Yeah, I would also like to add that campus is very safe as well. So when you're living on campus, you do have immediate access to our police department, our fire department, and then our student health center that's also right on campus as well. I know that's a concern for a lot of people, so we just also want to point out that campus is very safe. The next question we have is, will we be offered food and accommodation on campus for BGRi from August 9th, or will we have to move in on August 12th and stay in a hotel? So when you start BGRi on August 9th, you will be moving into your dorm room. If your parents come with you, they will have to stay in the hotel, but you will be moving into your dorm and all of your meals will be covered for the duration of the program. And then the next question is about finding a job after graduation and how Purdue can help you do that. And I think there's nobody better to talk about that than our ambassadors, just because that is kind of what they're doing right now. So I'll let them take the reins on this one.
Yeah, so freshman year, I was concerned about the same thing, being an international student. But then when I went to the career fair, there were a lot of companies that were looking for international students and also appreciating the fact that you come from a different background and have something different to offer. So during the industrial roundtable, which is a career fair in the fall semesters, typically in the month of September, and close to like 400 companies come to campus over the span of 2 days, and all they're looking for is students, and they're offering internships, co-ops, and even full-time job opportunities. I talked to a few companies during that time, and I was actually able to get an internship my freshman year. So this last summer, I was working at Cummins, which is a diesel engine manufacturing company here in Columbus, Indiana. And I was able to get the internship through the industrial roundtable. So definitely, if you looking for jobs, there's a lot of scope and there's lots of opportunities that you can really take advantage of. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Also with Industrial Roundtable, some companies actually don't offer internships for international students, but there is an app that you can download on your phone, and it lets you filter out companies that aren't offering internships for international students. And a lot of the time, there's still like 50 companies offering internships. So there is a good chance you will find an internship here.
Yeah, and then another resource that Purdue offers for all students is our Center for Career Opportunities, or at Purdue we call it the CCO. We talked about it a little bit in the presentation, but this is a great resource for students because they'll let you come in and maybe do a mock interview if you have a big interview coming up. They'll help you with your resume. And they really just kind of help prepare you for what to expect after you graduate and doing your job search.
Yeah, and also, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
no, you're
like
okay.
in your specific majors, there usually will be career fairs. Like, for example, I'm in industrial engineering, and there's a career fair in IE. I think one time every semester. So it's not hard to. It's hard, but it's completely doable to find job opportunities. So take advantage of these opportunities that the university offers.
Yeah, and like the industrial roundtable, we have like a spring expo career fair in the spring. So in both the semesters, you have tons of opportunities out there that you can really pursue and try to get. So yeah, don't worry about jobs and internships. Once you get here, you'll figure it out, and everyone on campus is willing to help you with that. So the CCO or even your professors and academic advisors, sometimes if a job requires you to submit a letter of recommendation, one of your professors might be able to help you with that. So everyone here is just trying to help you get those jobs that you want.
The next question we have is, can I change my major before coming to Purdue? The answer is yes, there is the option for that. So if you log into your Purdue application portal, there will be a form that you can fill out, and that will be submitted back to the admissions committee, and they will review your application again for the change of major form that you're looking for. And whether we say yes or no, if we say no, you'll still be admitted to the major that you were originally admitted to. So that offer will still hold true even if we don't let you change. But again, you are more than welcome to change your major once you've already arrived on campus as well. The next question is medical insurance arranged by the university, or do we have to have it on our own? Purdue does require that international students have medical health insurance, and that is offered through the university. So you would be able to take advantage of that through the university. The next question is, when will the admission offer turn unconditional? Since on the admission letter it stated that the offer is conditional. So basically that just means that we are expecting you to hold true to the same academic standard that you were admitted with. You are admitted to Purdue. Your offer isn't necessarily conditional per se. We just want to make sure that you are still finishing out your senior year strongly, and that you are still holding yourself to the criteria that we reviewed your application for. So don't necessarily worry about that. If for some reason you were to not do so well in one of your classes, you are more than welcome to send us an email and kind of explain to us what happened, because we will look at it on a case-by-case basis if you were to do poorly in one of your classes. Some of the other questions that we get quite often is to kind of just walk students through what a typical day is like for one of our international students and what they do on campus. So I would like our ambassadors to kind of just walk you through that as well, and what a typical day looks like for them.
Yeah. So usually you have classes starting as early as 7:30 in the morning to 5:30 in the day. There's classes that go beyond that, but typically it's between 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You might not have classes on a few days, so it really depends on what your schedule looks like. Currently, I have most of my classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'm usually busy throughout the day doing that. But when I don't have classes, I just like come to campus, use one of the buildings to just like get my homework done and get the other stuff out of the way. So yeah, it really depends on what your major is and when your classes are scheduled. But generally, the classes will be like 50 minutes to 2 hours long, and then you have 10 minutes to get to your next class. And I mean, that is more than sufficient for you to like walk from one part of the campus to the other and get to the other building where your classes are located. So, yeah, it's just like classes in the day, and then I have a couple of meetings in the evening for the organizations that I'm a part of. So, weekdays are generally, I'm generally busy doing that. On the weekends, you don't have any classes, obviously, but again, if you have any exams coming up, you could study for that, or just like go around campus, participate in activities, go out with your friends, stuff like that.
Also, many of my friends back home ask me if Purdue is studying all the time, and well, the answer is yes, but you need to have good time management skills. So if you are able to organize your classes properly and build a schedule that you actually look forward to going to, if you're not a morning person, try not to schedule 7:30s or 8:30s. But Purdue is very flexible because there are a lot of students who lots of classes are offered at different times. But try to organize your time, because if you organize your time well and study for exams with anticipation and you're on top of things, there's a lot of time to do with spare stuff in the university. You can, of course, do sports. The Correc is an amazing place to go to do any sports you like, hang out with friends, engage in another club activity like the ones we're in. So the key to having a good and balanced day to day in Purdue is being on top of stuff. So I would strongly recommend from the first day, start doing your homework on time, start studying for exams, and that's the key to it.
Your day is really what you want it to be. I mean, obviously, when you have class, you should go to those, but a lot of the times I have hour breaks in between my class, and if I have homework to do, I'll do that on campus. If I don't, I'll most likely just walk back to my house and hang out with my roommates. It's really just what you want to do.
We are also getting a couple of questions about scholarships, specifically departmental scholarships and how you can go about getting those. So I'll also have you guys talk about that a little bit too.
I don't have a scholarship, but I know Kemi does offer a lot of departmental scholarships. I know they didn't offer me one coming in because I was a freshman and an international student. But after my freshman year, I think I was able to get a scholarship. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, so usually if you're an international student, you don't come in with a scholarship, but during your second year, your sophomore year, opportunities do open up for your specific department. So I'm in industrial engineering, and the IE department has a few opportunities for scholarships for you to apply to. So you will apply to them generally in the second semester of your sophomore year, and you'll hear back in the summer whether you got it or not. So it just works like that from a department.
Also, I mentioned I was part of the SHIP group club, and it's so big that it offers scholarships, maybe not very large amounts, but there's still money available for international students to take advantage of. So if you're in a club or in a big organization, there's always scholarships that you can compete for. So try to get into clubs as well.
And then the next questions we are getting are more research related, specifically AI and machine learning research, and then how easy it is to get just general researching opportunities at Purdue. Purdue is a research institution, so I'm sure if you are interested in research, I would just talk to your professors about it, and they would be more than happy to help set you up with an opportunity like that. If any of you have had research opportunities or know people who have, this would be a good time to talk about that too.
Yeah, I've had friends who participated in research this year, but so usually you will take a few classes freshman year. You don't really know much about your major and you're just taking the introductory classes. So second year or sophomore year is like a good time to find research opportunities once you start taking classes that dive a little bit deep into your major and you have the opportunity to learn that material. So yeah, it's very easy to find research opportunities. Just talk to your professor that is teaching your class or in the department, and more often than not, they will say yes. Generally, they are looking for students, specifically undergraduate students, for them to participate in their research and help them out because they have a lot of work and they would like you to take some and get started with that. So it's not hard to get it. You just have to try and you just have to reach out to them. Make sure you have like a strong reason why you want to do research. So just prepare yourself to answer that question basically when they ask you, okay, why do you want to do research in AI or machine learning, whatever it is. So just make sure you have a good reason and a good pitch, and they'll probably say yes.
I think the same way.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, perfect. So our next question is actually perfect for the ambassadors that we have here today because they're asking what distinguishes Purdue engineering from other universities?
We have Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I actually came back from a class and in my professor told us that we're getting the Lafayette Martian meteorite back from the Smithsonian Museum for our 150th anniversary. And there's going to be a whole presentation on it and everything. Story behind that's kind of weird. They just found it in a professor's drawer one day. Turned out it was a meteorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm-
Like last night we had Steve Wozniak on campus and he had something to say about Purdue and Purdue engineering. So clearly we have a lot of people on campus that are doing very well in their field. So as she mentioned, we are a research institution. We are an R1 university. So that's really the top tier for research, which really opens up a lot of doors for you after you graduate from Purdue with an engineering degree. As soon as you tell the employer or the person that you're from Purdue and you studied engineering, they will have a lot of respect for you, just because it is not easy. It's a rigorous program, but again, it's doable if you put in the work. So that degree that you get is going to be really worth it. Talking about what distinguishes Purdue engineering from other universities, I think the first year engineering program is really unique to Purdue. I have friends who go to other universities and they didn't get an opportunity to go through something like FIE. So first year engineering is 2 semesters where you just take your time and make up your mind on what you actually want to do. So you might come in thinking, oh, I want to do biomedical engineering or mechanical engineering or whatever it is. But then once you get to campus, you realize that is not something that you like. And that happens. I've had a lot of friends switch their majors and change their minds. So the benefit there is that you're not taking classes that are in those disciplines. You're just taking general classes, physics, chemistry, math. So you have that time to decide and really make up your mind. I don't think other universities allow you to do that. So Purdue is really unique in that way. And I actually knew what I wanted to do coming in, and I basically um, had a good idea. But a lot of people don't really know because then they haven't been exposed to classes in those fields or just like people that they can talk to. So once you talk to your professors, advisors, and even friends, you'll get a better idea of what you actually like.
Also, in this first year engineering program, there's a class 132, engineering 132. That the different schools come talk to your class about the major, about what is it about because once you graduate from high school, like you don't actually know what engineering is like specifically because it's kind of calculus, linear algebra, and all that, but you don't know what you actually do in engineering. So
Yeah.
having the opportunity to listen to these people who are very 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 good in their fields, and like actually getting to know what the career is about is a great tool for you to decide, and that is unique, I think, in Purdue, because you don't actually know what you want to do when you graduate high school, and so it's a very hard decision to make, and Purdue helps you make that decision a little bit softer and easier to make.
Right. Yeah, I currently teach the first two classes, which is 131 and 132, in the first engineering curriculum, and I see that students have no idea what they want to do, and FIE is just perfect for them. They get the time, they listen to presentations from industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, all the schools, and then after listening to all of them, they're like, okay, I really like that one, and I'm going to go and talk to that professor or that guy who came in and presented. A lot of the times you have opportunities to interact with alumni, so you might talk to someone who graduated with an industrial engineering degree, and then you see what they're doing right now, and you see what their career path looks like, and you're like, okay, that is exactly what I want to do, and then you just go ahead with it. So FIE is really cool, and I feel like it benefits a lot of people on campus.
And I know this has been very engineering heavy for the last few minutes, but Purdue is known for all of our degrees because when you graduate from Purdue, you graduate with a Purdue degree no matter whether you're studying engineering or English or cybersecurity or anything. So you're going to receive opportunities for internships and things like that no matter what you're studying at Purdue because Purdue is dedicated to providing those kinds of opportunities for all students, not just engineering students as well. So then the next question we have up here is how hard is it to make friends or network at Purdue since it's not in a metropolitan city? So I'll let you guys take that as well.
I think it's so much easier to network and make friends since it's not in a city. Because everyone you meet here is a college student. And just personally, I think it's so much easier to make friends with someone who's relatively the same age as you, as opposed to walking into a city and just saying hi to someone on the street who's maybe like in their 30s. So I don't know. I think it's so much easier.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of being in a small college town is the community. So everyone is very warm and welcoming when you come here, and like he said, all of us are students. Everyone's in the same boat, and everyone's just trying to make friends and make those connections. So it's if you just like start talking to people. I know it's hard for some people to just go out and talk to people, but trust me, like nobody's judging you. Nobody's really. Everyone's open to a conversation. So if you just go ahead and start the conversation, people will respond and they will basically try to make connection with you. So it's not hard at all to make friends. When it comes to networking, like I mentioned, I know Purdue is not in a big city, but companies still come in and employers still come in because of the talent that we have. Purdue students are the best in what they do, so they will basically reach out to you and come to campus, even though we're not in a big city. So you don't have to worry about those things at all.
Yeah, I think they covered most of it. And also, you can actually listen sometimes to you're walking around campus, you're making you're in dining halls, and you hear someone speaking your same language, and dude, this guy's from Colombia, man, and you can actually like approach them, and a new friendship starts. So
Yeah.
it's since it's there are a lot of people, it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah, BGR and BGRi are also great opportunities to meet people right off the bat when you arrive on campus too. Those are our orientation programs that Purdue offers. We talked about them a little bit in the presentation, but a lot of students do meet people through those as well. And then our ambassadors have talked about it too, but joining organizations on campus is also a great way to meet people. And then kind of going off of that a little bit, the next question we have is, as a freshman, how likely are you able to live in your desired residential hall? And people want to know about our ambassadors' experiences living in the residence halls as well.
I don't know about you guys, but I did not get my desired hall at all. I actually got put in off-campus housing. because of the overflow of students when we came in. But no matter which residential hall you live in, you'll have a good time. I guarantee it. It's just full of people who are in the same boat as you, who want to meet new people, make new friends, and you will have a good time.
Right. So it really depends. I got my first preference, luckily. So, I mean, it. We really can't say if you are going to get your desired residential hall or not. But like Cameron said, no matter like if you're on campus, even if you're like off campus, you're gonna have a good time. There's people everywhere, and all of them are students. So don't worry about not, having like a good experience because we like none of us had like a bad experience in the residential halls or even on campus in general. So like that's very rare. It's not going to happen. You will find people and you will make those connections and new friends, especially during BGR. So BGR is very important. You make your first friends over there. You're in a group and you're going around on campus with them. So over the course of that week or 9 days, whatever it is, you will make good friends, and they will eventually become your best friends in most cases. So don't worry about that.
And then the next question we have is there an integrated master's program? It really just depends on what you are studying at Purdue. Our different programs offer different tracks, so we do have 3+2 programs, 4+1 programs. It really kind of just depends on what you're studying, but most likely the option will be there for you to do an accelerated program if that's what you're interested in doing. Then we have a question about working on campus, and international students can work on campus under an F1 visa. You can work up to 20 hours per week. And actually, if you go on the CCO website, they do have a list of jobs available on campus that international students can work in. So that would be a good resource for you if you are interested in working on campus. You can work in dining courts, you can work in the library, you can work in the different restaurants on campus. It really just depends on the department and what the availability is.
Kind of going off of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, go ahead.
You can work on campus, but your paycheck has to come from the university itself. There's like Starbucks and everything on campus, but your paycheck isn't coming from the university. It's coming from Starbucks, so you can't work there as an international student. So that's just something to think of.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. And then another question we have is, can international students do a study abroad program? The answer is yes. We have over 400 study abroad programs available at Purdue, and many of the academic departments on campus also have their own study abroad department within the academic college. So I'll let you guys talk about that too.
Yeah, I was actually looking into that. I'm not really sure right now if I'm going to do a study abroad program since I'm already studying abroad, being an international student. But you can definitely do that. There's like no doubt about that. There's programs during the winter break, spring break, May semester, which is right after finals in the spring semester. You can do an entire semester abroad. You can do the summer abroad. So there's a lot of options, a lot of programs. I do believe that there was a scholarship previously for international students for study abroad programs, but they don't currently have anything for international students. But then the cost is subsidized, and it's really sometimes when you just go on a semester long study abroad, you just pay Purdue tuition, so there's no extra charges there. So you're just paying the same tuition, and um, all of your other expenses are up to you, the personal expenses like meals or whatever it is. But you can talk to an advisor for a study abroad program and go into those details later. But you can definitely participate in a study abroad program.
Yeah, I get emails constantly from my academic advisor about studies abroad and everything. But again, like he said, I'm already studying abroad, so I don't think I'm gonna do another study abroad per se. But I know, at least for chemical engineering, there are scholarships for international students for studies abroad. Not huge scholarships. I think the biggest one was $1,000, but it's something.
And something else I know you all are probably really interested in hearing about are the different food options that we have on campus and just how good the food is, honestly. So I will also turn that over to our ambassadors too.
I really miss dining courts now that I'm not on campus. The the food is phenomenal, depending on the dining court you go to.
Yeah.
The different dining courts offer different food. A lot of the days, uh, they'll try to switch up the food, but it's mainly the same food for like each specific dining court. It just depends on what food you want. You go to whichever dining court is serving that food.
Yeah, food here in the dining courts is really good. I really miss it. And if you're a vegetarian, if you have some preference, some allergies, there's always an option for you. So that's really good as well. But like I really miss the food. You're gonna like it a lot. There are a lot of options. I think we have like 5 dining courts. So it's great. It's great. Food here is great. So I think you won't starve.
Yeah, and there's other options where you can use your meal swipes or your dining, like your meal plan. You have the Purdue Member Union where you have Starbucks, other restaurants and food places that you can go to if you are just like not in the mood to go to a dining court. So there's a lot of variety, and you can definitely eat wherever you like. There's a lot of options for vegans, vegetarians. And like if you have any dietary restrictions, they have gluten-free options, stuff like that. So you don't really have to think a lot when it comes to that. Everything's arranged in such a way that you can just walk in and start enjoying the meal.
And part of your housing package at Purdue will include a meal plan. So you will have the option to choose how many meals you would like per week. That's how we split it up. So there are options from 8 meals per week all the way up to unlimited meals per week. So it really just depends on how much you eat per day and how much you think you will eat per week. But so when you apply for your housing options, and then once you figure out where you're living, you will be able to choose a meal plan that goes along with that as well. So from here, I think it would be really beneficial for you all to kind of hear our ambassadors' favorite parts about being at Purdue. And it could be anything, just your favorite part about being at Purdue and what you enjoy the most about it.
My favorite part is that right now I live with the best friends I've ever made, and I made those friends last year in my freshman year, and right now we're living on a house like a 2-minute walk away from campus. So just living with friends I made, the bonds we made, just being around them makes me happy, and yeah, that's my best part of Purdue.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm like my roommates are my best friends, and then I'm living so close to campus that I can really explore anything that's going on, like during the day or even later in the evening. So, just like being so close to campus is always good. I can talk to a lot of people, and we recently had like a concert on campus, free for Purdue students. So things like that you can just enjoy.
What I really like about Purdue are the sports, especially men's basketball and football. It's really big. When I came here, I really only liked soccer, and I still miss it a lot. But the U.S. has extraordinary sports that you can actually take advantage of. The Purdue football stadium is enormous, as well as the basketball arena. And like when Purdue plays, like the entire university like turns into like support for the team. So it's actually I love attending Purdue sporting events, and I actually recommend it a lot for incoming students. It's a great way to actually feel the colors of Purdue, and feel as a part of Purdue of something bigger. It's just amazing, and watching the team like live playing away and representing your school, representing what you fight for is just amazing. So I strongly encourage you to to get into like this community of attending sports and everything, sporting events.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Something else that we get asked quite often is about class sizes at Purdue. As you all saw in the presentation, we are a very large public university, and it's really quite amazing that we are able to keep our student to faculty ratio as low as it is, as well as our low average class sizes. In your first year, you probably will have larger classes just because you'll be taking more general courses within your major. But as you get older, those class sizes will be getting a lot smaller. So I'll have them talk a lot about that too. If you
Yeah.
guys would like to.
The general courses have lectures about like 450 students big, I think. But yeah, I'm only in my sophomore year, and that number has decreased significantly. Now I think the biggest class I have is around 200 people, and that's still a relatively general course. Yeah, as you get older, your class sizes will decrease significantly.
Yeah, and as they decrease, you can form stronger bonds with your professor, and you'll have like greater chances to talk to them, and then explore the possibilities of research, of doing something, working with them, because they're really good at their fields. So it's great to see that as you move on and through in your career, classes decrease size, but you can make stronger bonds with people within that class. So classes also become a networking opportunity as well.
Yeah, like two of my classes are like 25 to 30 students, and the professor knows me by name. You can really expand that network of yours and just like form stronger bonds. Like he said, it's great. Like freshman year, obviously you have like a lot of students in the big lecture halls, but even then you have recitations, which are like smaller groups of 30 to 40 students each, and you have like a teaching assistant teaching that course. And even though like those classes are like so small where you can like just talk to your friends or even the instructor and really get your questions answered if you have any. So yeah, class sizes go down as you move up in your major. So sophomore year, junior year, it's like you will see a lot of people moving to other majors, or just like the number of people just decreases every time. So.
And I think there's actually technology and apps that you can download now when you have big classes. You can send a message to the professor asking the professor to maybe slow down or repeat something when you are in those larger classes. At least that's what I've heard, is that they do have some kind of technology that helps you in when you're in larger class size settings like that, so that you can still kind of have that relationship with your professor and make sure that you are staying on track with what you need to know about. So we got another question about housing. So the question is, during the holidays, when our housing contracts aren't valid, do we need to pay for extra housing, or will you provide that? So during the holidays, it kind of just depends on where you're living. So I'll let you guys tackle that one since you have lived on campus before.
Yeah, so I was on campus during my first winter break, and my dorm wasn't open during the winter break, so my contract was only valid like in the fall and in the spring. So during that time, I did have to pay extra and live somewhere else, but it was worth it. I mean, everything was the same. I got an apartment. I was living with another roommate, which turned out to be my friend. So yeah, sometimes you might have to pay extra for that, but then you're still very close to campus and you get access to the same stuff that you had in your dorms. So
So the next question we have is, what sort of academic support do you offer to students? So if you miss a lecture, or if you don't understand something, or you just need a little bit of extra help grasping a concept, Purdue does offer a lot of different support systems for that.
Yeah. As what was said, during your recitation, you'll have someone called a TA or teaching assistant, which is usually a graduate student, and you can ask them for help if you need it. There's SI sessions that you can go to, which is held by someone who took the course previously who did very well in it, and it's just them teaching what was taught in lecture. Your professors are going to have office hours where you can ask them questions. And if you miss a lecture, a lot of lectures are recorded and put on something called Boilercast, where you can watch it afterwards. So it's not the end of the world if you miss a lecture.
Yeah, that's he said most of it. Like there are endless opportunities for you to get help, extra help. So yeah, SIs, study sessions, office hours, TAs are always there for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
use those opportunities.
Something else that we get asked quite often is about how to get to campus whenever you fly into airports in Chicago or Indianapolis. Those are the two closest airports to West Lafayette, so when you're making arrangements to come to campus or visit, those are the two airports I would recommend flying into. West Lafayette does have shuttle services that are available for everyone really to go back and forth between West Lafayette and Chicago O'Hare, as well as the International Airport in Indianapolis too. So you would just schedule that ahead of time, and then once you land in Chicago, the shuttles will pick you up right outside of the arrivals area, and then they do have drop-off points right on campus as well. So it's very easy to go back and forth between West Lafayette and the airport, as well as just going to Indianapolis or Chicago for a long weekend. If you do want to be in a bigger city, it's very easy to do that as well. Do you guys go to Chicago or Indianapolis very often?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the train system works, the shuttles work, Greyhound system, buses work. So yeah, I usually go to Chicago maybe once, twice a semester, and there's a lot of ways to get there. And to Indianapolis as well, what the Colts.
Yeah.
And one other thing we would like to address too is something we hear a lot of concerns about are the winters here in Indiana. So we do have 3 ambassadors here who have obviously been through Indiana winters, and they're still here today to talk to you about them. So we'll let them give you some tips about how to navigate that too.
Buy a lot of clothes. A lot of warm clothes. Yeah, the winters are only the worst in January and maybe the first half of February. Then it starts to warm up and there'll still be snow on the ground, but after you experience -20 Celsius weather, when it goes to -5, it's gonna feel really warm. So yeah, the best thing to do is just to dress warm. All the buildings on campus have heating, so you just take shelter in there when you don't have to be outside. You'll live. It's not bad.
Yeah, just figure out like the shortest route from your dorm room to wherever you're going. There are tunnels that can help you. You can take the bus. Just plan ahead. Dress appropriate, like in an appropriate manner. And yeah, just really leave early so that you can like take even if it's the longest route, you can stay warm and just like go through buildings and just like navigate your way to your path.
Yeah, as Deep mentioned, Purdue does have tunnels that connect most of our buildings, not all of them, but most of the time you will have at least one tunnel that will connect one of the buildings you're going to another. And then Deep also mentioned that you can take the bus too, and the West Lafayette bus system is free for all Purdue students. So that's another thing to keep in mind as you are navigating your way around campus. A question we also just got is, what do most students do during holidays and breaks?
It depends on the break. The break is very long, like a summer break, or well, during the winter break, most people go back home. Or if you're an international student that lives very far away, you can stay on campus, as you mentioned previously. During summer break, since it's very long, you can do a lot of things. For example, you can stay here at Purdue studying, maybe uh, taking some courses, tackling some credits. That happens a lot. Most people go back home. Other people get internships, co-ops, so they do that either here or in the place they got the internship. So it depends actually what do you do, but like in smaller breaks, like maybe one extra day, like MLK Day or something like that, you can always go to Chicago, as we told you. You can go to Indianapolis, or you can stay here. You can take advantage of that break to recover from classes, meet with friends, uh, hang out. So it actually depends a lot on where you're from, how long the break is, what you want to do, but a lot of opportunities.
Do you know if the dorms are closed during spring break? Or do they stay open?
They're open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question we have is how many free course credits do I have to take? Do I have to take courses from departments outside my major? So all of the majors at Purdue have a certain requirement of the number of credits you have to take before you graduate, and a number of those credits will be core classes that are specific to your major, and then you will also have to take elective credits, and those can either be still relative to what you're studying, or they can be something different too. So it's really just up to you and what you're wanting to do, but I'll let you guys answer that one too.
I would say like just roughly you would take 25 to 30 credits outside your major, I'm guessing. Just that's just how my plan works. But I mean, it really depends on your major. Some majors have like a lot of free electives that you can take and use towards your minor or towards any certificate that you're planning to pursue. But I mean, all of that, once you get to campus, your academic advisor will tell you what kind of classes you can take. So for electives, you might be able to take something that you like, a new language, history, anything that you enjoy doing. Like there's music appreciation classes, there's dance classes, there's bowling, and there's like a lot of options that you can explore.
Yeah.
So
Like maybe like to summarize, maybe you'll have 3 credits per. That's like one class per semester to explore new things. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the average. Again, it depends on your major, on your career plan, but that's kind of the average.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of students that transfer in AP courses, IB, A and AS level courses as well. So depending on how well you score in those courses can be transferred to Purdue as credit. They might come in as an elective course or they might come in as a Purdue course, but that will lower the number of credits that you will have to take in order to graduate as well. And kind of like we said, it is completely up to you on whether you want to take courses outside of your major that still kind of relate to your major in some way, or if they are something that really has nothing to do with your major, like bowling or theater or something like that. So again, one of the best things about an American education system is that you do have the freedom to kind of pick and choose what you want to study while also still staying in your same degree path. And then kind of going off of that, I think it would be helpful if you all talked about maybe like your biggest culture shock whenever you came to the US and how you overcame that.
I would say for me it was the food. I usually like different kinds of food, but then American food is not bad. It's just different. So I got like used to it eventually, obviously. But then since we have a lot of diversity on campus, there's like Thai restaurants, there's Chinese food, there's food from all over the world. So you really won't like miss your like home cuisine or whatever it is. There are options, there are restaurants where you can go to and enjoy those kind of meals. But yeah, the biggest thing for me was the food, like just getting used to uh, the kind of food that America has to offer.
Also, of course, language. luckily I came from a school that the language, like English was taught very proficiently. Another thing was the class sizes. I came from a school where class sizes were around 10 to 20 people per class. So like getting to lecture halls of 450 people was hard. But again, you get used to it. You just need to deal with it like the first couple of months, and then it will become completely natural. Another thing for me, I love sports. So like again, I really miss soccer, but the American sports are really cool. So those were the three main things that shocked me when I got here. But it's easy once time goes by, it's you'll get used to it. Time is key. Like give time to things. Yeah.
I think the biggest shock for me was how big college sports were in America. Like
Yeah.
it's as big as the professional sports, if anything, maybe even bigger. I don't know, but it's really entertaining if you get into it. Though I've sort of gotten into it. It's a great time.
Yeah, and Purdue is Division One, and we have 18 teams to watch. So there's really always opportunities to go watch them if that's something you're interested in. The next question we have is, what would you recommend more, a learning community versus honors college, and why? Again, that is kind of more up to your preference. So the honors college is probably going to be a more rigorous program because it's added on top of your major, whereas a learning community is kind of a supplement to your housing community. So you might be taking the same classes as the people you're living with, but it's not necessarily an extra commitment, whereas the honors college is definitely more like having an additional major or something that you're studying because there is a separate honors project on top of that. Were any of you in honors or know people that are in honors? No.
I know my roommate is in honors, and he has to take a couple of extra classes to fulfill his degree, and he works a lot. But I don't know a lot more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I'm not a part of honors college, so I don't know a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really just kind of up to you and what you feel like you can handle. Kind of what's been mentioned before is your first year is learning a lot about time commitments and managing your time well. So if you are kind of interested in honors college, but you're not necessarily sure that it's something you want to do, you can always go to Purdue for a semester, maybe take part in a learning community, and then after your first semester, you're more than welcome to apply to honors college if you feel like that's something you want to do later on too. It's not just limited to incoming students. Then we have a question about intramural sports. So are there opportunities to partake in sports activities that are not necessarily in the varsity teams or D1 teams, but still a team? And the answer is yes. We have over 30 intramural sports. I'll let Manuel answer that one since you're so interested in soccer.
Yeah. Well, you have clubs for all sports. So if you don't want to be part of the varsity team, you can join their clubs. For example, there's a soccer club, and they play other universities in the area and sometimes other schools in the area. And it's the time commitment is much less. They actually know that you're here to study first of all. So if you can't make a couple of practices, it's okay. They're very flexible with time. I've heard the same thing about other club sports. I've heard club tennis has the same conditions, and it's a great way to actually compete in your sport, but a very reduced level compared to varsity teams. Also, you have intramural sports, which are great because you can form teams or play on your own, depends on the sport, with people you know, and you compete with other people in the university, different sophomores, seniors, juniors, freshmen. They all compete in intramural sports. They're intramural sports for every sport, literally. So that's a great way to interact with other people and to play the sport you love. And for soccer, and for basketball and like common sports, you can go to the co-rec or the T-rec, the turf rec, to play with friends. Nothing serious, 1-on-1. Maybe play a soccer match 7-against-7. So there's a lot of opportunities to engage in the sports you like without actually having to be as committed as a varsity student.
Yeah, So that's one of the things that Purdue really kind of prides itself on is that you are studying hard while you're here, but there are also so many opportunities for you to do other things besides study and kind of just have a good time while you're in college as well. So we want you to study hard, but we also want you to have fun. And going off of that a little bit, I think we should talk about BGR and BGRi a little bit. So I think hearing about your experiences in that program will be really helpful for students who are considering doing it themselves.
BGRi for me, I'm still friends with 3 of the people in my BGRi group, and out of I think there was 10 of us in there. That's it's a great way to meet people initially when you first get here. You can choose to stay friends with them if they're friendly with you, but yeah, the events didn't really apply to me because, especially for the international part, because it was all about culture shock and everything. But I grew up in a very American place. I even have a bit of an American accent. A lot of people can't tell I'm an international student. But especially if you've grown up in the same country all your life, going to those events and hearing them talk about culture shock, I think will be very beneficial for you. So yeah, I highly recommend going to BGRi.
Yeah, I mean, I got very close to my group also, and even like the team leaders and the team supervisors. So I definitely recommend it. Those people are the first friends that you make at college. You can really get close to them. So share stuff that you might not share with others. Just like it's a good support system to have. You know, when you first come into the U.S. if you haven't been here before, and even if you have been to the U.S. before, college is a different experience altogether. So yeah, it's just something that you should definitely do. BGR is like probably the best time, like the best experience I had during freshman year. So I definitely recommend it.
Yep. Best way to make friends quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dave, you're actually a BGR leader this year, aren't you? A BGR leader?
Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
BGR leader. I'm going through the training right now, and we basically set up the program in such a way that everything that you do during that week really helps you and sets you up for college. So, like opening up a bank account or opening up,
Phone number.
yeah, like getting like a SIM card and getting like a number. Everything that we do is to help you, and we also go around campus and like tell you about different traditions and different things on campus that you can take advantage of, or even like some there's some things that you might not know before coming to campus just because you haven't been here. And that was the case with me. I had never visited Purdue before accepting my offer. So it was really hard making that decision because you're basically just looking at videos and images online and thinking, okay, this might be a good campus, but really after doing BGR, I was convinced that I made the right choice, and Purdue is like the place I want to be. Coming from a big city, I wasn't sure if I wanted to live in a college town, but then after coming here, I was like so convinced, and I really love our campus. I actually miss it when I am not here during the summer or any of the other breaks when I go back home, just because I'm so used to being around my friends and going to these places on campus. It's just like it's my second home now. You can put it that way. So
There are also parent sessions during BGRi, so if parents are dropping their students off, they are also more than welcome to attend the parent sessions that are offered during BGRi as well. It looks like we have time for one more question. So that last question is, will going through an honors college give me an edge when it comes to getting a job after college? I think it will definitely show employers that you are willing to take on a little bit extra. I wouldn't necessarily say it would make a huge difference, but it does show that you are really good at managing your time well and that you are willing to take on those extra responsibilities. So thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to us talk and letting us answer all of your questions. If you think of anything else that you want answered, our admissions email is listed on the screen, so please call us or send us an email anytime. Thank you so much.
Come to Purdue. Boiler up.